So a UFO whistleblower who claims that the US government has been holding alien spacecraft gave evidence to Congress today. Do you not see my background? There might be an alien here as well. It's all crazy.
At one point, you had said that there has been harmful activity or aggressive activity. Has any of the activity been aggressive, been hostile in your reports?
I know of multiple colleagues of mine that got physically injured. And the activity, and I got
by UAPs or by people within the federal government?
Both.
Okay, so there has been activity by alien or non-human technology and or beings that has caused harm to humans.
I can't get into the specifics in an open environment, but at least the activity that I personally witnessed, and I have to be very careful here because they tell you never to acknowledge tradecraft, right? So what I personally witnessed myself and my wife was very disturbing.
Yeah, to me, that's just creepy as well. And the fact he said he and his wife saw it and it said it's highly disturbing. That's the thing. A lot of the time, it's the fear of the unknown. And like I've always said, reality is stranger than fiction, and we don't know. Like the fact we haven't even discovered everything in the depths of our ocean, there's no way we can say for certain that there's no extraterrestrial beings in the universe. We haven't even fully discovered Earth. This individual, he would have no reason to lie. If anything, he's putting himself in danger by just coming out and explaining it to Congress. He could have just said, you know what, I want an easy life. No, thank you. But he said, nah, you know what, let me explain the facts, the details. Maybe that lady that was on the plane the other day in the video that I done, maybe she wasn't crazy. Maybe she was seeing this.
If you believe we have crashed craft, stated earlier, do we have the bodies of the pilots who piloted this craft?
As I've stated publicly already in my News Nation interview, biologics came with some of these recoveries, yeah.
Were they, I guess, human or non-human biologics?
Non-human, and that was the assessment of people with direct knowledge on the program I talked to that are currently still on the program.
And was this documentary evidence, this video, photos, eyewitness? Like, how would that be determined?
The specific documentation I would have to talk to you in a skiff about.
Gotcha. Yeah. Okay. So, and you may or may not be able to answer my last question, and maybe we get into a skiff at the next hearing that we have, but who in the government, either what agency, sub-agency, what contractors, who should be called into the next hearing about UAPs, either in a public setting or even in a private setting? And you probably can't name names, but what agencies or organizations, contractors, et cetera, do we need to call in to get these questions answered, whether it's about funding, what programs are happening, and what's out there?
I can give you a specific cooperative and hostile witness list of specific individuals that were in those.
And how soon can we get that list?
I'm happy to provide that to you after the hearing.
Super, thank you, and I yield back.
He's willing to spill the beans. He said, you know what, I will tell you all the details, but just in a closed setting. I can't be saying it in public forums, baby. Must be private settings. And this statement's from a former Navy pilot.
You know that these were not our aircraft.
Some of the behaviors that we saw in a working area, we would see these objects being at 0.0 Mach, that's zero airspeed, over certain pieces of the ground. So what that means, just like a river, if you throw a bobber in, it's going to float downstream. These objects were staying completely stationary in Category 4 hurricane winds. These same objects would then accelerate to supersonic speeds, 1.1, 1.2 Mach, and they would do so in very erratic and quick behaviors that I don't have an explanation for.
These aircrafts were staying stationary in hurricane winds and then traveling extremely fast in a split second. Listen, it sounds crazy as hell. Something, I don't know, from a superhero movie, but what if this is all reality? What if this is all reality? Everything that we know about life, essentially, we don't know. It's all been a facade. We don't know. And to me, I just think if it is the case that the government was hiding stuff from the public, let's say the American public, it's just a case of they don't want the public panicking and losing their trust in, quote, the government. So it's like, nope, even if we say, oh, it's just, because everything just gets passed off as conspiracy theory. It just gets passed off as that because it's just saying, well, it's actually is the truth, but we want people to be seen as crazy, so we'll just label it conspiracy. But I remember I was talking to my friend about it today, and it was like, we were just saying basically like, he was even saying, like, how do we know it's even one alien species? And why haven't they come back to kill us? And I was basically saying as well, how long have they been around and what like technology do they use? He was saying, what planet are they from? Can they communicate with us? And I replied to him when he's saying, how comes they haven't come down to kill us? And I was basically saying, from what I'm just thinking of, my theories, I was basically saying, if this is all true, I think they see us as useless. Like, if you think about it, we've reached the peak humans can evolve to as far as we know. We can't fly like birds. We can't levitate. We can't swim like a shark. We don't have telepathic communication. We're trash. Like, if you think about it, we're trash. We have reached the peak. The only way you can just, get a bit stronger and stuff, pumping iron. There's only so much we can do. But yeah, there's just so many questions. There's so many questions. My friend was like, aliens, if you're reading this, please don't kill us. But yeah, it's kind of eerie, it's kind of spooky, but sometimes it's the fear of the unknown. But I just feel there's just no way we're the only species in this whole universe. There's no way. You're telling me there's no other organisms or bacteria living elsewhere? No, it just doesn't make any sense to me. And like I said, if the universe can go on forever, how do we know? We haven't even scratched really the surface of planet Earth. No, we don't even know what's in the depths of our ocean. But we're going to say, nope, aliens aren't real. What was the guy claiming it as? Non-human. So, I don't know. I think there's just going to be more info that's being dripped and being leaked through. But, hey, reality is stranger than fiction.